So the first thing that a lot of companies don't get right, know where you win. People try to adapt hacks and strategies from everyone to their business, only to realize that fundamentally that does not work. So how do I think about it? Let's plot a matrix. You need to know which game to win, and this would allow you to understand where can you truly win. So take your business and plot it on a 2x2 matrix. On one side, you have LTV. How much can you make from your customers? That's an easy way to think about it. On the other side, you have the volume of customers. How big is your TAM? So you have two things that you're looking at. How much money can you make from your customers? And how many customers are there out there? If you happen to be on the side where you have very few customers and they don't pay you anything, you should not be in that business. You should just leave that business. And I know it sucks, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room, in this conference, are perhaps in that quadrant because they have a fancy idea, but you should just run away from it. So the next one, this is interesting. You have very high LTV, and you have a very small TAM. You could call this whale hunting. For example, you have a software that you could only sell to Fortune 500 or Fortune 100. So by default, you can't cast a wide net. You have to spearfish. And the channels that work here are very, very high touch. Field marketing, trade shows, conferences, business development efforts. These are all the channels that work. And you really have to spend that capital upfront because the size of your customers are also going to be big. You have the other side now, where you have a huge volume, but very low LTV. What do you do now? You can't afford to spend in some of these very expensive channels. So you have to learn how to cast a wide net for as cheap as possible. Content marketing, SEO, search engine optimization, social strategies, building a community. You can't afford to pay a ton of money in CAC. So you have to grind and build these organic channels that are going to be LTV to CAC positive. And then finally, my favorite quadrant, the first one, which is where ClickUp operates. Because the beauty of operating in this quadrant is you can pretty much do anything under the sun. You can go build an enterprise sales team, go after enterprise. You can also buy billboards. You can also run TV ads. This is where there's a lot of joy in building business, especially if you are a distribution person or a go-to-market person, because you can make pretty much any channel work. So knowing where you win is extremely important, and that comes down to you honestly mapping out how much LTV can you make and how big is your market.